Started as a normal day. Mary had been a reasonable student throughout the semester, getting good grades and completing her assignments, although I did notice that she was preoccupied with her looks and how people reacted to her. About midway through the semester, she came into the classroom looking really unhappy and distressed. She put her head on the table and looked like she wanted to have attention at the same time that she wanted to be left alone. I asked her if she wanted to go back to the room, and she replied, "Yes, I want to go back to my room."
When the professor came into my office to tell me that Mary had threatened to kill herself in class, I knew we had a problem. Mary had trouble fitting in from the beginning, and I had really wondered about her mental health. Because she wasn't from my university, I didn't really know her personally, but it seemed to me she may not have been an ideal candidate for the trip. I quickly went to her classroom and asked Mary to come to my office. She came with me, and I asked her about some comments that she had made in class. She continued to tell me that she wanted to kill herself and didn't want anything else to do with life. When I asked her about her mental health history, she informed me that she had been diagnosed with PTSD from prior service in the military, and that she saw a therapist on a regular basis and was on several medications.
I just felt so low that day. I mean, I know everybody in the class was upset by what I said, but I didn't want to live anymore. I really wanted to leave the country for a fresh start, get away from my normal schedule, my normal life, and just go to France for a month. I convinced myself that everything would be okay once I got here. I even told myself I wasn't going to take my medicine because, I thought that it was everything around me that was what was making me so sick.
My first reaction was to close the office and take the student to the emergency room. I didn't even want her to go to the bathroom. So we got in a taxi and we went to the hospital, where we met a doctor who spoke English, so Mary asked to speak to him alone. I agreed and sat in the lobby and tried to call my supervisor, but she was in a meeting and was unavailable to talk. I wasn't really sure who to call next. Mary came out of the exam room and told me that the doctor had released her to go home and continue on with the program. I was so confused what was happening that I went back to the hospital and found the doctor. He was unsure as to what I wanted Mary to do, as she had only told him that she had a common cold. I informed him that Mary had threatened to kill herself and that I and professors and other students had heard her say it. He was very surprised, brought Mary back into the room. She admitted that it was true, so he called a psychiatrist to come and talk to Mary, but he spoke no English, so I had to translate. After the psychiatrist spoke with her, he wrote a letter of admission to a psychiatric hospital on the other side of town. So Mary and I got in an ambulance and rode to the other side of town to the hospital. I asked her if she wanted to call her mother, and she said no. I asked if there was anyone else she wanted to call, and she said no, thank you. I tried to call my boss again, but it was the end of the workday in the US, so no one answered. So I just went ahead and took Mary to the hospital, where they admitted her overnight and asked me to come back in the morning. I left Mary at the hospital and returned to the dorms. I was very confused. She was now admitted to the hospital. Her family didn't know where she was, and I wasn't sure if I should or could call them. No one at my university or Mary's home university knew that she was hospitalized, and who would pay for any charges related to the emergency room visit or her overnight stay? I got up the next morning and went to the hospital. Mary was still there and was very angry. The nurse informed me that she had had a horrible night and would not settle down until she was sedated. The doctor that had seen her this morning had told me that she would have to go to a psychiatric ward. I too thought Mary looked worse, and she was really angry with me. When she saw me, she just said she wanted to go home, simply take her credit card and buy a ticket that day. All she wanted to do was call her mother and go home. The doctor had arranged an ambulance transfer from this facility to the other facility, but she asked me if I could call her mother, so I did. Her mother simply said, "Yes, that's Mary. She has a lot of problems, but we thought God had made a way for her to go study abroad and that He would provide for her while she was away." She told me to use my best judgment in the situation and that she would pray for me and the others. I called the university again and spoke to my boss, finally, who called the student's home university. The dean of students simply said, "Yes, we know Mary well. She has been a real problem here. Good luck." So here I am in Paris with a student that's in a psychiatric facility and no real direction from my home institution or the student's institution or even her family. Guess I'll call the insurance company. Where did I put that card?